Morning. I've just come back from the gym. Oh, am I a little bit crooked there? Yeah, I'm a bit crooked. Such is life. I'm looking out at the moment at the most beautiful view, and it's almost like I forget to think, I forget to feel. It is just no words. Good morning. I have with me here my chicken soup. Oh my goodney, my giddy aunt. That was a combination of oh my God and oh my giddy aunt, which I say. I've been loading a lot of content and I thought I wanted to chat to you about it. I hope you're enjoying it. I am crooked, aren't I? Is that a little bit better? Sometimes it's okay to be a little bit crooked in life, isn't it? I've been getting various comments from you about my content. You talk about deaths, you talk about loss, you talk about estrangement, and it's sad, it's painful, and I'm sorry. I do enjoy your comments. I enjoy the banter beneath the videos, and I enjoy your voice listening to you. There is too many comments to answer. I wish I could answer them all and honour them, but it is physically impossible. I listened to a quote this morning, and I don't remember the specific quote, and I don't know who said it. It didn't have a name. It's something like, if everything goes wrong, I will be in the mud with you. And I thought about that. If everything goes wrong, I will be in the mud with you. It's interesting, isn't it? When we go through life, people wear masks. People may pretend to be certain types of people. People may have a certain mask at one place and another mask in another role. My father said to me, if you have two friends in the span of your entire life, oh my God, you're lucky. I remember him saying it to me. I was young and complaining about some friend. His words really impacted me, and I think about it. I think about my greatest friends through my life. These friends were not necessarily the ones that were fun to go out with, or the ones where we would have a wild time. These friends were not necessarily the funniest or the most extroverted. I think about one particular friend of mine, Alison, and when I had my hip replacement, she looked after me, and oh my goodness, I was difficult to look after. I was in so much pain, and I'd suffered loss and a number of events had occurred at that time, and I couldn't walk easily, and she looked after me. She did a number of things to take care of me. One of the things I noticed that she did, and I took a photo, was I wasn't able to walk down steps for a period of time. So not only did she put a chair in the room, I lived with her for after my hip replacement, but she put a piece of wood on the chair so I can easily get on and off. And I took a photo of that chair. And sometimes when I feel lost or I feel doubt, I look at the chair and I might send her a picture of the chair and I'll say, Al, remember the chair. Remember the chair. Al put up with me, and I was pretty scorpion-like because of the grief, because I couldn't move, because of what had occurred at that time. I was a bit of a scorpion, or that's the nickname that Alison and I had for me, because I've always been into movement. I've loved triathlons, I've done long-distance running, I've done push-ups, I've competed in competitions, so I'm a mover. And not only had I lost my parents, my friend died, my client, something happened to my client. And then something much worse happened, if that is possible. And then I needed this hip replacement. I was alone in hospital, and Alison was the only one who visited me and the only one who took care of me. She brought a jug up into the bedroom, which was upstairs, and had all these different types of teas. And there was something incredibly symbolic about the mug she brought up, the kettle, and the different types of teas. But it was the chair, the way she had adjusted the chair so I could sit down. I come back to the quote, "If everything goes wrong, I will be in the mud with you." I think that there is no greater compliment we can give somebody if they are our mud buddy. They don't have to be funny. They don't have to be exciting. They don't have to be riveting or wowed at the party with stories. But if they can be in the mud with you and sit in the mud with you and metaphorically hold your hand when you're struggling. When I look back over my life, it is the less exciting people, the less funny people that get in the mud with me. I used to read a beautiful book about a bunyip, and it's an Australian story. I really recommend you read it. And this bunyip would go through life meeting different people and saying, "Who am I? Who am I?" And he was anxious, and he'd meet different creatures, and the creatures would say, the possum would say, "You are a possum," and the snake would say, "You are a snake," because they use their filter to assess who the bunyip is. And eventually the bunyip meets a human being, and the human being is a scientist. And the bunyip says, "Who am I? Who am I?" Desperate to know who he was, to find himself, to discover himself, to self-realize. And man, who was a scientist, didn't even look around, didn't even turn, just kept looking at his science experiment. And without turning, he said, "You are nothing at all." And the bunyip was devastated. And the bunyip went back into his billabong and he hid in the mud. And he was really sad. And then as time passed, there was another pile of mud rising up, and it was another bunyip. And the first bunyip was saying, "I'm nothing at all. I'm nothing at all." And the second bunyip rose up covered in mud and said, "No, you are a bunyip." There were more profound words to that story. I read it, I bought the story, I often reread it. And it's just beautiful because it's about the journey of self-discovery, that nobody can tell us who we are, because they can only tell us who we are through their lens of being. When we are struggling, when we are lost, when we are scorpion-like and Alison looks after me, it is those people that are true friends, that are unadulterated mud buddies. Who is your mud buddy? Perhaps we could identify our mud buddies, and we're so lucky to have mud buddies in life. At the moment, it is contemporary to talk about going no contact and talking about estrangement. I'm not saying that going no contact is not okay. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that cutting off from people is not okay. But we are here on this earth to be of service to others. We're not here to be perfect. We're not here to get it right. We're here to get back up. We're here to be bunyips in the mud. We're here to rise up covered in mud and say, "You are a bunyip and you are okay. Your journey is okay. Who you are is okay. And by the way, I'm your mud buddy." Who is your mud buddy? Let's be somebody else's mud buddy without judgment. Doesn't matter. Let's look down upon our judgment and question it. Yeah, today I wanted to talk about mud buddies. What do you think? I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening to my content. I hope you have a brilliant day. I hope your day is as good as my view.